If I didn't have my daughter with me, we would have pushed this a little farther. I would have walked out that door. I would have taken the beating.
Oh, I would hope it wouldn't come to that.
Do you understand Arizona is a stand your ground state? When you're unlawfully attacked, you have every right to defend yourself by any means necessary.
Okay.
Are you aware that even if you're a police officer, when you unlawfully attack someone, they have the right to defend themselves against you?
Absolutely, you could try that.
And that's,
I would hope that we.
I know.
I would hope that we won't ever come to that
and
situation.
What would happen if I did defend myself against an unlawful attack from you?
I hope we don't have to find out, but officers are going to do what we need to do.
Right.
And I can't tell you.
You'd probably be willing to kill me over an unlawful detention, wouldn't you? The question is, are people willing to do the same to you?
The thing is, I have.
That is so heavy duty, because when cops come with the implied threat of force, and they do, they've got their vests on, they've got their training behind them, they've got their guns on, they've got their handcuffs, they've got backup, they got the unlimited resources of the state, so they've come intending to do you harm. And if you resist, they will slap charge upon charge upon charge on you if you live through the experience. That is the utmost in state-sponsored terror and violence.
My policy that dictates my use of force, and I'm going to stick to that. Yeah. I can't give you hypotheticals.
And as long
I prefer not to do this
as long as you have a policy, you can't be sued. But it doesn't protect you from someone defending themselves against you. So when you attack the wrong person and you end up in front of God and you're like, what happened? I was following my policies. How'd that work out for you? Right? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, huh? Go ahead and get out of here. You're dismissed.
Attention, player haters and overrated disbelievers of all kinds. I stand before you today 10 toes down as the bearer of bad news. Y'all done fucked up.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. The comply fallacy, or comply hypocrisy, double standard, whatever you want to call it, right? I guess because of the situation right now with ICE or the political climate, you can take, they say liberals are buying guns now, they try to what was it? Not institute, but exercise their Second Amendment rights. And people are protesting and not liking the direction of the protest, not liking the political direction, not liking the ICE interactions. And what you're seeing is, and this was a police encounter that I was showing, but it goes with the program because I'm going to get to that too. What you're seeing are people who are not black, who are somehow acting like they never knew this was America, okay? And, and part of this interaction is also that thing where, like when a guy was interacting with the cops, like if I wasn't with my child, we just had to fight. And us as Black Americans, we know this all too well that, white people can fight the police and go home and, maybe go to court, but never get a felony, never lose their job behind that type of stuff, because the rules are different. Just like the white cops. The white cops have a tendency to not actually, even though they want to instigate fights, they have a mental thing where they don't instigate fights with white people like they do with us. But when you see these people standing up for themselves, quote unquote, because they're like, man, I don't have to comply with these unlawful orders or requests, and I don't have to comply because you want to just be a bully because you got a badge. Yeah, that's something that white people could do. And I'm not saying other people haven't fought back, but this idea of it's self-defense when a white guy's fighting the cops. It's not self-defense when a black guy's fighting the cops because, they're being excessive. They turned a traffic stop into a fight. And that's never looked at as excessive, right? They walked up on the person, hey man, I just, what are you doing here? So we turn to, hey, you're walking, you're living, you're going about life, and now it's an investigation. That works with us, per se. Now, the same thing applies to the whole ICE thing. I think the ICE thing is a little bit more aggravating and antagonizing. But the whole comply thing, you're not hearing people say that, and it's hypocritical because you got people said when the police were being excessive with black folks, hey man, they need more training. And then when it comes to this concept, it's, hey man, we'll hire anybody. You don't need to be trained. Just put a mask on, go out and mess with folks. So that's hypocritical. And people have brought up, for all the people who were like in those white supremacist type groups, neo-Nazi, Proud Boy types, excuse me. A lot of them applied to be in ICE. And then even with the ICE situation, you have a lot of Hispanic people who are working for ICE. And, people don't want to say that for some odd reason, right? But the vast majority of these people that you see on camera have a mask on. They're not just walking, they're jumping out of cars with a mask on, which at some point institutes that you're not doing anything legal. That's the first and foremost thing, right? When you got to get out of the car with a mask on, you're not doing anything legal. And it's the same thing when you would say, when cops have had these raids, they've raided houses, and sometimes they've raided the wrong house. But what I'm getting at is when you give somebody authority and immunity in their actions, and then you put a mask on their face, and they're allowed to put a mask on their face, that heightens the propensity for violence, because now you can't, only the people under the mask know who did what, and cops are gonna cover for their own, the ICE people are gonna cover for their own. It doesn't matter what crime they commit, they don't care. But for the people like in white America who are like, this is wrong, this is not right, this is, now it's Gestapo, and now this is not the country that this is not the America that I know. Yes, it is. This is just the America that you didn't live in. This is the America you told us to comply with. This is the America you was like, you had to be doing something, and that goes for all these groups of people. It's the hypocrisy of it. It's blatant hypocrisy. Excuse me. To mention, rather. Even when you guys protest, it's not the same. Because the I said because whatever. Because the law enforcement pushback isn't the same. You're not getting a militarized response to your quote unquote protesting. And that was one of the things, for Black America, like, yeah, they're not, it's white people, they're not gonna bring out, the heavy artillery. And on top of that, you're not gonna get the extra group of, let's just say white guys, Hispanic guys, Asian guys who want to dress up like they're the good guys, and the cops know that they're there. Now those guys are basically ICE. So now you have that whole scenario. But when people tell you, so the same people who have like racist undertones or psychopath or sociopathic undertones are working for the federal government. And the federal government already knew this because I remember that report came out years ago where the FBI was saying that law enforcement was infiltrated by a lot of white supremacist groups. So, and I don't even know why you need a report like that in the 2000s because that's how it's always been, but that's a whole nother story. But this goes into the comply hypocrisy. Not to mention that I saw a video with a white woman with a black child or a mixed child, however y'all want to call it now, right? And a white guy is out there calling a white lady a mud shark, right? And he's calling a little girl a monkey and a mongrel and a hat. It's just crazy. But I say that to say the police are right there. The police don't stop that guy and the other white guys from berating this woman and her little child. The girl might not have been 5 years old. You know what I'm saying? But these are grown men, 40 plus, with beards, with grays in it, yelling at a child in front of the cops. So at the same time, they don't see a problem with that. And this goes to when they had all of those, let's just say rallies and, parades, basically, where you had, Ku Klux Klan, because they used to do it in Indianapolis. They used to do it in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I don't know if they still do it, but they definitely used to do it there. They used to have all these Confederate and KKK walkthroughs that were legitimized, and they put in a permit with the city and the state, and the cops were always protecting those people. So what you're seeing is, that dynamic in law enforcement too, where, yeah, man, you look like me, I'm gonna give you a pass because, you know, you're one of us and we're one of you, unless you do something that makes us feel like, you're a Negro lover or maybe you're Jewish, even, I didn't know until you told me type of situation, right? That, I won't, and I say like it's me, but they won't attack you to for the need to quote unquote comply. So I say that to say the hypocrisy is now that people are pushing the envelope and doing illegal things because they got a badge on just to get a rise out of other people just so they could possibly arrest them or possibly kill them. That's been going on. That's been the norm. But now you look at the norms happening to you. And the crazy part about it, what the white guy says in response is like, yeah, what if I decide, I don't feel like you should be able to take my life, and I fight back. And I've said it before that type of mentality has been spreading throughout the United States and is going to grow. And I know white people are going to respond violently to the police. And we've seen it before because when white people see other white people, it's not a reaction. They can reach in the car, they can reach for stuff, they can walk back, they can walk away, they can fight, they could pull out a knife and swing a knife around, they could go get a gun or a rifle or a shotgun. It's no big deal with the cops because they're white. So I already know this is gonna go bad. And this goes for the people that work at ICE too. So when people have told us to comply, we've already known that, this compliance has a hypocrisy to it on both sides. But I'm going to leave it at that. You tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.